careful who you take advice from. Dot, dot, dot. So, as you can see, take a look. My eye looks pretty almost normal. If you look at this eye, my lid's just like a little bit bigger and kind of like my eyes almost shut a little bit. 2 days ago, couldn't even open my eye. It was brutal. And I thought, right, we're sitting there, we're kind of hanging out with some friends. We went over to Oahu, and I thought, I'm sitting there thinking that, hey, I must have got some sand or there's something in my eyes, kind of itchy, kind of hurting a little bit. And then it starts watering, and it starts getting worse. Then it starts to get where I can't even hardly see out of it. And it's like, I can't even keep it open. And my eyes are getting crazy sensitive to light. And I'm sitting there the whole time just like, you know what? It must be sand. That's got to be it. I live in Hawaii, and I must have just got some sand in there, and that's creating the problem, yada, yada, yada. So I'm sitting there in Oahu, not really sure what to do. And I'm just like, I guess I'll just try to scrub it out. We get home from Oahu, back to Kauai, and my wife's sitting there. She lays me down on the bed, and she's got the saline solution, and she's just jamming it up in my eye, like the contact stuff. And I'm like holding up. My daughter comes over, like holding my eyelid open, trying to find this piece of sand, right? Trying to scrub this piece of sand out of my eyeball. And what's happening is that she's hurting a lot. And I'm like, what the heck? This doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. And I'm like, I'm not sure what to do, blah, blah, blah. So I end up going to bed, wake up next morning. This is Sunday, wake up Sunday morning, and my eye's worse. Can't even open my eye at all. I'm like literally sitting here with my eye, and I'm just like, I can't even see a dang thing. And so in that, not being able to see, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go to the ER for this. It's stupid. I'll just probably go to an eye doctor on Monday and see if he can get the sand out. Still in my mind, I'm thinking it's the sand, right? And to nobody's fault of their own. We were hanging out with friends, and everyone's like, yeah, it's probably sand. You got some sand in your eye. And I'm like, yeah, it's the sand in my eye. It's fine. And I'm just going around doing my thing. Sunday, it's worse, right? So I end up going to church that morning because I'm like, it's just sand. I'll be fine. I threw some sunglasses on. I go in there, and one of my friends at church just happens to be an ER doctor. And I have my sunglasses on. I'm kind of telling him about the sand in my eye. And he's kind of giving me this like questioning look. And then he's like, well, let me see your eye. He said, let me see. And I pull the sunglasses off, and he just laughs at me. And he's all, sand in your eye? He's all, bro, you have an infection. I'm all, what do you mean I have an infection? He's like, dude, your eye's completely infected. He's all, how did you get sand in your eye? What'd you do? And I told him, I said, well, I was at Waikiki Beach, and we went out surfing. He's all, did you rub your face in the sand? He's like, why would you think there's sand in your eye? And I'm like, well, I don't know. We all just kind of thought that's probably what it was. It's probably got some sand in there. And he's all, bro, it's 100% infected. Like, and he looked at it for like 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds. Like a little immediate reaction was, dude, you got an infection. So I asked him, I'm all, dude, well, shoot. Because then my mind went to, oh, crap. If this is an infection, most infections, like some kind of a virus or whatever, I'm all, am I contagious? He's like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, oh, crap. So fortunately, I usually get to church pretty early, so no one else is there. So I'm like, well, I'm going to leave. And he's like, let me do this. He's let me get you taken care of, and I know what you need. You need the special, the special vial. So he looks at it, specs it over, and then he calls in a prescription for me so that I could get this little drop in my eye. And I go home, I wait for the prescription to be ready, and I'm like, I can't even hardly see. I mean, it's just hurting like crazy. And I go, and then I finally get the prescription, drop in the eye, and in 2 drops, I'm sitting there, and within like 20 minutes, it already started feeling better. Within 2 or 3 hours, I think it was every 4 hours, I'd take another 2 drops. I did another 2 drops for 4 hours. By 4 hours from taking the drops, like I'm like 50% better. And then this is like, so now the time I'm recording this right now is Monday night. So that was yesterday morning. So I'm not even full 2 days into it. I'm barely, day and a half. And it's like a billion times better. I'm still keeping my distance from human beings. I don't know how long I'm gonna be contagious. So I'm like, I don't want to get anybody else sick. But so just taking these drops, but it was so interesting because I was convinced. I mean, I was absolutely convinced that it was sand in my eye and that was the problem. And I need to rush it and flush it and do all these kind of things. But it was just like not oozing, it wasn't pussy, but it was like running, like my eye was crying a lot. And I was convinced. I was absolutely convinced. And here's the thing that's crazy. How would I know? I'm not a doctor. I've had zero training in this. But I was convinced that it was sand in my eye. Why? Because that's what I knew. All I knew was what I knew. And then I got around somebody who actually knew something. I got around somebody who actually knew. And he looks at me in 2 seconds and he's like, dude, you're an idiot. It's not sand. You have an infection. And that's not going to go away by just hoping it goes away or by anything that you're trying to do. So it's interesting. How often in life will you spend so much time working towards something. You'll be doing this thing that you just know is the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go this way. And you're supposed to go hard this way. And you're supposed to do this thing this way. And you're just going to go, doing that thing. Only to realize you're doing the wrong thing. But you don't even know it because you have absolutely no experience. But we're so arrogant as human beings, we think that just because we thought it, it must be the right thing. It must be what I'm supposed to do. And so we'll go and do that thing over and over. We won't take advice from other people that we should be taking advice from. We won't even ask because we think we know. This is like people inside a business who will sit and constantly do something that they think is the right thing. They think they see someone else doing this thing that way, and they think that that's the way they're supposed to do it. Why? Because they saw somebody do it. What they don't realize is those people that they're watching, they're mirroring, they're modeling, they don't know what they're talking about. They're not right. They're not doing it right. And so you have a group of all these people who are doing it in some weird old way, and they're like, well, why isn't it working? It's like the people who just think, well, if I just sit and post on social media, then somehow I'm going to get business. I'm going to become successful, and I'm going to have all this, blah, blah, blah. It's not how it works. Because if that's how it worked, there's a lot of people that post a lot of stuff on social media. The problem is most of it's garbage, and most of it is just somebody trying to do clickbait or trying to figure something. Like it's not getting you. There's so many reasons why it doesn't work. But if all you do is watch those people and you think, well, I'm just gonna do that, as opposed to going to the place where actually they have the information, the thing they actually know, right? The doctor of whatever it is that you're doing that you don't seem to be getting the results. Because the reality was, if it was sand in my eye, everything I was doing was not working. But what's crazy is I wasn't even shifting my mindset on it. I was just still just saying, well, it's that's what it is. Right? I was convinced, and my reality became my reality. My reality was my truth, and my truth was my truth that made my actions and made me do what I was doing. That's the crazy part. Even though it wasn't serving me, even though I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it, I kept doing the same thing over and over and over. This is like the person who says, well, this is the kind of diet that works for me, even when it's not working for them. But they're like, well, this is how you do it. And so that they keep doing it that way. It's the workout program. You're like, well, I want this result and I'm going to do this workout to get there. But you don't have anyone in your corner that actually shows you how to do it. And so you're just doing your thing, thinking it's going to get you, but it's not getting you the result. But you're so hell-bent on you being right and the truth that you think you're speaking that you'll continue down that road anyways. It's absolutely insane. It's insanity. It's craziness. And we will do this over and over and over again. This is why, you always wonder why that statement, why people always say this, and only successful people do. People who are unsuccessful don't even think about it. But the statement of you are who you surround yourself with. And if I could look at the top 5 people you spend time with, that's who you are. That's where you're going to rise to. That's the level you're going to accelerate to. And if you're at the top of the food chain in the group of people that you hang out with, that's a problem, my friend. That's a problem because you can't rise out of that. It's very hard, right? Crabs in a bucket, right? Because you'll start to think you're right. And when I hang out with a bunch of people that aren't doctors and don't know what they're talking about, and I think I have an idea about what's going on with my eye, and so they agree with me and I agree with them, and they're telling me stories, I'm telling them stories, we're all agreeing. And we're all wrong. Right? We're all wrong. So take a look at your world across body, being, balance, and business. Where in your world do you think you know, but the results you're getting on the other side of it, if you would actually take a second to look, you'll realize something's off. Something about what you know you don't actually know. And there's going to be this humility you're going to have to take. You're going to have to check the ego to the side and realize, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I maybe need someone who does. And in just like that, somebody who knows, someone who knows can take a look at what you're doing and say, yep, here's why it's not working, maybe try this. Once you found that area, whether it's in your body, being, balance, or business, any part of who you are, what's one thing that you can do about it today, right now? What's one thing that you can do? Right? Who can you talk to? What can you, maybe you can even just questioning yourself. If you look at the result and it's not what you want, but you keep doing the same thing and it's getting you not the result you want, but it's getting you the wrong result, maybe have the courage to look at that thing, address it, and be like, hey, maybe that's wrong. Which is another way of saying maybe I'm wrong. The hardest things for a human being in the world to say. So that's all I got for you guys today. Make yourselves better. Go out there and be a better human being today. Be nice to somebody. Give somebody a smile. Just be awesome. It's your boy, Trevor White. Have a fantastic rest of your day.